What's going on, everybody? Tarek Fattal here. Man, another episode of Fattal Factor. We have a special guest tonight. There are people trickling in here. Thank you for being here. I listen. It's like almost like channel suicide to go up against the Dodgers in the ninth inning in the playoffs. I mean, we need one more out here. My wife is a week past her due date, and I got more anxiety watching this game. Strikeout. All right. Woo! All right, perfect. Dodgers get a win in dramatic fashion, unnecessary fashion, I might add. But guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you for joining. We got a show for you tonight. Like I said, USC Trojan great, Heisman Trophy winner, Carson Palmer is with us. We'll be on in just here in a couple minutes. Huge win over Santa Margarita, or excuse me, huge win for Santa Margarita over Mater Dei on Friday. And look, I gotta say it. I've been saying it for weeks. I just knew that Mater Dei, something about the machine wasn't churning like we're used to seeing. And I felt like something was coming down the pike, and it just so happened to be Santa Margarita, the defense, and they get that win 7-6. So of course I've got Aram with me. We'll get to Coach Palmer here in a second, but the Dodgers get a nice victory here. A little bit of Monday Night Football. Plenty to talk about. But, man, I think we had a big week of high school football, week 7. We're going into week 8. It's deep into October. That means playoffs are right around the corner in November. And, man, there's no rest for the weary. Santa Margarita, after a win over Mater Dei, has St. John Bosco this week. So we'll talk to Coach about that, too. Didn't get to celebrate that big Mater Dei win for long, is my guess. But nevertheless, I will bring in Aram and Coach right now. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just make sure we're all unmuted and ready to go. Coach Palmer, welcome to the Fattal Factor. Aram, gentlemen, happy Monday night. Dodgers get a nice win here.
Happy Monday night, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Coach, for being here.
Coach, I mean, I think we'll start off real simple. I mean, we don't want to bury the lead when it comes to why we have you on. Obviously, you beat Mater Dei, and that was a big accomplishment for your program. So I don't know if you can give us a little secret sauce. You might have to play him again in the playoffs, so you might not want to reveal too much. But yeah, I mean, just kind of how you got it done. Now that maybe you've been able to watch some film, let it marinate a little bit. You know, what was it like, and what did it take to hold the Mater Dei to 6 points and get that win?
Yeah, it was a great environment. At the Santa Ana Bowl, it was their homecoming, great crowd. We had a great crowd there as well. It was a very hard-fought, a very physical game all the way through. From beginning till end, we played well on special teams, defense, and offense at the end. We're able to come away with it, and like you just said, I mean, the Trinity League, there are no breaks, so we just head right on into to St. John Bosco this week, and then the following week have Orange Lutheran. So it doesn't slow down for us.
Aram?
Yeah, Coach, congratulations. Like I say, every time someone beats Mater Dei, you did everyone a favor. Coach, if you can, talk about, you're obviously you're trying to sell to your kids that you guys are on that level, that you can not only play with a Mater Dei or a Bosco, but beat them. But until it actually happens, is there that full buy-in? So what was the reaction of the kids? Are they like, oh, okay, like we get it now? Are they like full believers now that they've actually seen that they can actually not just compete, but get it done on the scoreboard, get that win?
Yeah, I mean, it's a resilient group. It's a very senior heavy, senior led group. There's great leaders, top to bottom, on the defensive side, on the offensive side. So it's a group that's been around the Trinity League. They know this game, they know this league, they know these opponents, they know the players on the other teams. So there was nothing to sell. We had a great week of practice. We've been getting better as the season's gone on. We've been put through the gauntlet so far, and we started off with Mission, and then Centennial, then Bishop Gorman, then Mater Dei, and now St. John. And so it's just, we're battle tested. We've played against all the best teams. There aren't many other teams that are in that kind of top ranking category that we haven't played yet. So nothing to sell. Like I said, it's a very experienced, very veteran group, especially on defense. And these guys know what it takes to win, and if anything, I think they proved that to the people around us last Friday night. And again, you get back up and you get ready to play again, and here comes Bosco. So our group had a great start to the week. We had a great Monday. We take it one day at a time. That's our focus and our mindset. And we'll get to Tuesday on Tuesday and continue to churn through the week. But this is a smart group, a veteran group, an experienced group, and we've been in some fist fights thus far, and we got another one on Friday night.
We got to talk a little bit more about the defense. Obviously, that's been something that has stood out of this team. Just talk about how good they are, the athletes that you have on the defensive side. And really, you mentioned that your team wasn't so surprised, but for viewers or even reporters like myself that have been watching Mater Dei and Bosco, but for Mater Dei right now, pretty much dominate offensively, back-to-back national champs. To hold them to 6 points is pretty remarkable, man. I don't know if that's how you drew it up, but can you talk about almost a statistical anomaly your defense pitched?
Yeah, that Mater Dei team is a very, very good offense. I mean, there are players everywhere. They are strong top to bottom of that roster. They're guys that have a lot of experience as well and have played in big football games and played well in big football games. But our defense is salty. They're tough. They have a great mindset. They're very smart. They understand the game. They understand the system. They understand what the opponent's trying to do. And they're led by Coach Steve Fafita, who's as good as it gets. But you just look across the board. I mean, it's a lot of vets. It's a lot of guys that have been around the game. It's a lot of guys that have played a lot of football. They've played a lot of Trinity League football, and now they've played a lot of football together. So, they get better each and every week. They've done that from game one until going into game 8. And so we've got a big opponent. As you said, Bosco's big time. I mean, they got receivers, they got running backs, they got O-line, quarterback. So it's a great challenge for us, but I think our guys are up to it.
Coach, if you don't mind me kind of rewinding back for you personally, because I think a lot of people kind of want to know how you got into and why you decided you wanted to go back to Santa Margarita as a coach and get into the coaching and the high school game again. So your NFL career, your college career, NFL career, everyone kind of knows about that. NFL ends like 2017. Where does Carson Palmer go after 2017, and when did you start wanting to get into high school coaching?
Yeah, so I retired, like you said, in 2017. Was looking at a number of different opportunities, whether it be coaching in the college level, the NFL level, to broadcasting. I kind of went through the whole broadcasting thing and did a bunch of interviews with all the big networks, and just decided, that wasn't going to be my path. So my family and I kind of got away. We moved away to the mountains, got out of big cities and kind of the hustle and bustle, and spent some time just as a family. And I'd spent so much time doing football that I needed to be dad and go to games and drop kids off at school and be a bigger part, because football had taken so much away from me and my time with my family. And so we got away. We spent some time as a family and started coaching my oldest son, I think in 6th grade, maybe 7th grade. And then, he started his freshman year last fall at Santa Margarita, and never thought I was going to be a coach. I think I said, I'm still not a coach. I'm a player. I just happen to be coaching right now, but I'm a player. I'm not a coach. So I never thought I'd do it. Never thought I'd get into it. And this opportunity came up. It's where it all started for me. I grew up in Southern California. I grew up watching Santa Margarita, then fell in love with it and went there as a freshman. Was around a great group of kids, great coaches, great facilities, all that, and we got good. We won it all as freshmen, and then just continued to win. So it's a place that taught me the game. It's a place where I learned how to win, and it's special. It's got a special place in my heart. I now have 3 kids there. I've got freshmen that are twins, and sophomores that are twins, and a freshman. So it's a special place to me. I'm lifelong friends with numerous guys that I grew up playing football with. And now I get to coach with some of those guys, and guys I played in the NFL with, played in the NFL against, played in college with, played in college against. So it's really come, full circle for me. From the place that taught me everything I knew about the game to now, I had the opportunity to hire coaches that have a great track record, great history in the game. We get to share the game. We get to share what we were learned, or what we were taught, what we learned from all the great offensive and defensive minds that we grew up around, and now we're those coaches sharing the game with these young men. So it's just an incredible opportunity, and we're off to a good start. And as you know, like I said before, the training league just doesn't get any easier. Week after week after week, there's big game after big game, and we've got another big one for our homecoming this Friday night.
Would you have done it anywhere else, Coach? Sorry, Tarek,
No.
to jump for a second question, but would you have done it anywhere else besides Santa Margarita?
No. I got done playing and kind of was evaluating opportunities and looked at numerous opportunities at staying in the game at the NFL level, and spent a bunch of time talking to mentors, talking to coaches that had taught me the game, and I was around, and just decided not to do that. And that's kind of what I was saying, is I started looking at the broadcasting thing, and really took some time. I didn't rush into anything when I got done playing. I knew it was it. I knew after 15 years I was physically at a point where I couldn't do it anymore. I needed to stop, and I wanted to keep playing. My mind wanted to keep playing, but I knew my body was telling me it was time. So I evaluated a number of different avenues to go down, and like I said, just kind of took a step back as a family, spent some time together, and said I'd never coach, and here I am coaching again. So you never know what's around the next corner. You never know what door opens up. I just think it's important that when those doors open up and it's the right opportunity, you got to get ready to walk through them and walk through them.
Derek Fisher's coaching high school basketball at Crespi. It's a school here in the Valley, and I remember after the first year, I go to a media day, and I go, Coach, you've coached in the NBA, the WNBA, you're a champion. Tell me, man, what's the biggest learning curve to like high school basketball? And he looked at me and he goes, man, I'm doing laundry. He goes, I'm putting the kids' jerseys in the laundry, stuff like that. And I thought that was really fun and kind of wholesome. And so I tell that story because I wanted to ask you, you've done it at every level, so on and so forth as a player. And you even mentioned yourself, you're still a player at heart, but you are coaching. The sip of water, at least say you've experienced in the 7 weeks you've been coaching high school.
One instance or one occasion. It's just the constant new things that pop up from a day that have nothing to do with football, that have nothing to do with X's and O's. There's just something new all the time, a new challenge, a new thing to figure out. And you either let it get you frustrated, or you figure it out. And I'm so blessed to have so many phenomenal, as I mentioned, the coaching staff, and just everybody around us, and the support from the school, the desire for the school to have a great program. We've got tremendous support and tremendous people around us, and we have a weekly meeting, or I sit down with ADs, and we have opportunities to ask for help in certain things, just because there's so many things I don't know. I know that I don't know a lot about this, and we're learning each week. We're learning every day. And I think just the biggest challenge on a day-to-day basis is what's new today, what's being thrown at us today. And I've got guys around me and support around me they've been in the training league for decades, or they've been in coaching for decades, or they've been at Santa Margarita before, or were there for the last couple of years. So just from the support system and the individuals that are around us and helping me on a day-to-day basis, I'm truly blessed.
And then my follow-up to that is, compared to when you were in high school, now being entrenched in it, do you sense, I don't know if the word's pressure, but for lack of a better term, pressure on these athletes that you think might have maybe surprised you when it comes to maybe media coverage, or even like the recruiting? Has any of that been a little more eye-opening for you? I know you said you have a son who's been in it, but maybe now that you're a coach, you see it every day.
Oh yeah, the game has changed. I mean, we're also talking, 25 years ago.
Sure.
So a lot happens in 2.5 decades. It's with the NIL, with guys leaving early for college, guys reclassifying, the game has changed. Back in the day, Trinity League wasn't in existence. Now that there's these powerhouses and these dominant schools and these massive institutions that are great at numerous sports and great academically and from a faith standpoint, and all that these have to offer, it's incredibly competitive. From top to bottom, great coaching staffs, great institutions, well led, from presidents and the CEOs of the schools. So everything has changed. It's just gotten bigger and more amplified. It's at the end of the day, though, it's still football. It still comes down to, who dominates the line of scrimmage, who wins the line of scrimmage, who wins the turnover battle, who has more penalties, who has some self-inflicted wounds. So it's football at the end of the day, but it's more competitive from top to bottom, no doubt.
Coach, we have Chris Ricks in our live chat right now. We always like to kind of give shouts out to our live chat, and Chris Ricks, who's now coaching at Bishop Amat, former Florida State QB, reminding everyone, saying, love you have Carson on your show. I had the honor to follow him at Santa Margarita. So just wanted to let you know, Coach Ricks is out there rooting you on.
What's up, Chris? Go Seminoles, huh?
Yeah. So, okay, my next question, Coach, you brought up Coach Fafita and the success he's having as a defensive coordinator there, and you guys have a fantastic defense. Who are some of the other assistant coaches that you'd like to point out that you brought on that kind of make up this staff? I know there's probably got to be some good names and reasons why you have them there.
Yeah, so our coordinators are John Minardi on special teams, Lenny Vandermeid offense, Steve Fafita on defense, and as we talked about, Steve, former player, incredible human being, incredible coach. Lenny Vandermeid's a former teammate of mine that was up in Northern California at St. Ignatius as the head coach up there. Went up there, turned the program around, had the opportunity to come back and coach with us at Santa Margarita. Just three great coordinators. Great men, but also great coordinators. And that's one thing that I think if you look through the staff, we've got a bunch of good human beings because you spend so much time around these kids. These kids are around us more than they're around their own families at the end of the day. But if you just look top to bottom, I hate to leave anybody out. We've got a phenomenal staff on the defensive side. Air Justin as the corner coach, Ryan Crow as safety coach, Coach Kelly as the defensive line coach, Rob Thomas, linebacker coach. Top to bottom, really, really stellar staff. There's great players in that defense, but they're also really well led. On the offense side, we've got TJ Hushmanzada at receiver, Mike Carney at running back, Lenny's on the O-line, Lenny Vandermeid, O-line offensive coordinator. Tight ends coach is James Hendren. We've also got a number of other coaches that help us out in different programs from helping out with the freshman team and the varsity team, or the JV team and the varsity team. So just, top to bottom, we're very blessed. These kids are really well supported with a combination of coaches that, either played, coached at the collegiate or the NFL level, coached in high school. John Minardi played at Santa Margarita with me. He was a receiver, number 82, then went on to the University of Colorado. He's the special teams coordinator. But really just top to bottom, really, really good, solid human beings that also know a ton about the game, and they know how to teach. So there's a big difference between teaching and coaching. There's a lot of guys that can coach. It's hard to find great coaches that are really great teachers as well. And so we're very blessed and, fortunate in that regard.
Yeah. Tarek, did you want to ask something or?
Yeah, Coach, I actually wanted to follow up and just kind of ask, what's it like coaching your kids? I know you've done it in the younger,
yes.
You mentioned you've done it when they were younger, but now, at the varsity level, things are a little more serious.
Yeah, I don't know that I've changed my tone or I've changed my style from coaching my daughter's basketball youth team to my son's flag football team to my, my current sophomores, tackle football team in 7th and 8th grade. And um, I think you coach tough, and that's just my philosophy. I was brought up around tough coaches. I played for a bunch of really tough coaches, and I think at the end of the day, if you're tough and you're fair, that's all you can ask of your coach. We don't sugarcoat it. We don't sweep things underneath the rug. Um, from our standpoint, we have a bunch of coaches that they're fair, but they're tough. We keep talking about how challenging and how competitive this training league is. And so what we do as a staff is we're fair, but we're tough, and we get after it. We're physical during the week. We lift physically. We condition. We are more old school, and that's my style. Is like I said, I played around some really old school tough coaches. But as long as you're fair and you can share knowledge that will make those young men a better player, what more can you ask for from a player's perspective? That's what I wanted as a player. Is I wanted to be coached, but I wanted to be fair. I wanted it to be fair, but I wanted to learn, and I wanted to absorb information and get better. And I think as long as you make sure those things are done, you're giving that young man, that individual, the best opportunity to be the best them that they can be. And that's something we focus on a lot.
Go ahead, Aram.
Yeah. So, Coach, the I mean, let's shift from like the field to the off season now. If you will, it's a very difficult kind of thing going on in high school football right now to attract the top talent that you need to compete at the highest levels. What's that like for you guys? Obviously you're competing for players with a Mater Dei, well, basically with the rest of your league, but also teams like Mission Viejo, even teams from the Inland Empire, if you will. That aspect of the game, I know it's changed since you played, but what do you guys got to do to keep getting top talent? Do you think it's just as simple as winning? Wins like Mater Dei go a long way in making people say, "Hey, I want to play at Santa Margarita." I mean, what do you think you got to do to keep that talent level up where it needs to be in order to maybe win a Division One?
Well, winning cures all, right? I mean, at the end of the day, um, you know, if you can prove that your formula produces wins, then I think that's a big piece of it. Um, from the faith standpoint, Santa Margarita is a Catholic school. There's a big focus, and it's very central at our school is these young men's faith and these students and student athletes' faith. In the training league, um, that's common, and all schools or some sort of private religious school. So um, Santa Margarita is a faith-based education. The education's as good as it gets at the high school level, from respect from universities, in the application process, the kids applying to colleges. I think the Santa Margarita name carries weight at those institutions that these kids want to go on to and go to college at. And so that's big. From a sports perspective, Santa Margarita has been, at the top of numerous sports and won numerous awards. And also just campus life and facilities. And that's a big part of, what we can sell is it's a beautiful campus. It's a beautiful location. We're set, kind of at the foothills of the mountains. Um, the campus is not as old as some of our competitors, but it's gorgeous. It hasn't changed since I went to high school there. Um, Facility wise, we've got top notch facilities. Top notch meeting rooms, top notch weight room, top notch opportunities for these young men to learn the game, study the game, get better at the game, and sharpen their craft. And support from the school, and that's a big piece of it too. Is Santa Margarita understands what a winning football program means to the school and to the alumni and to all of that. So I really think the school is a total package. I think there's a lot of great opportunities and there's a lot of great options, whether they be private or public. I mean, you just right down the street, you look at Mission Viejo, their program, and Coach Johnson, what he's done and built there, phenomenal. You look at Centennial and the numerous other Orange County, Southern California public schools. There's big time football. Obviously, within the Trinity League, there's big time football, but it's tough. It is tough. It is competitive. It's challenging. There are so many great opportunities to go and be educated. There's so many great programs to go and be a part of. We're definitely one of those when kids are coming out and looking, and obviously proximity and so many things get factored into that decision of where you're going to go to school. But I think you could put Santa Margarita up against any other opportunity out there. And there's a lot of great opportunities and great competitors that we have and great opportunities for these kids to get educated and learn the game of football and compete at a high level.
Coach, as we're running highlights of the game, and I have to ask you, you've been NFL press conferences for 15 years, so there's nothing I could ask you that would be too much of a hot seat. But I got to ask you about the offense. It just seems that you're not scoring as many points as you'd want to. There's no question. I just can't imagine that would be the case. So just kind of talk about what it's like working through that offense and trying to get those young men to score more points. I know you got Trent Mosley back. He obviously scored the touchdown, I believe, out of the Wildcat, so I'm sure that was a big help getting him back. But just talk about the offense and some of the struggles you've had and yet the success you had at the same time.
Yeah, we're getting better week in, week out. As you mentioned, getting Trent healthy. He was a big part of the game plan last week and had a great week and just gave us a great lift. I mean, the player he is, the leader he is, the young man he is, having him in a huddle just makes everybody feel a little bit better about themselves. So getting him back was big for us. We've had our struggles. We've played really well defensively. We've been fortunate enough to play just well enough on offense to win games. We've played against some really good defenses and some good teams. And I think that's hardened us. That's made us tough and brought out the best in us. And I think we're getting better. It's obvious in practice. It's obvious in games. Do you want it to carry over to scoring 30 and 40 points a game? Absolutely. We'd love to get there, and that's where we want to be, and that's where we're headed. And without some of losing Jonas Smith, losing Trent at the beginning of the season was tough. We had a lot of young guys step up, a lot of sophomores playing for us and starting for us, freshmen starting for us and playing for us. Which is a great opportunity for some of these young guys to get thrown in the fire week 1 and week 2 and now for the midway point of the Trinity League for first place in the Trinity League, we've got young guys that are making plays and they're getting plays under their belt. They're getting repetitions in this championship atmosphere, which is great for development. So we're heading in the right direction. We're getting better, like I said, week in. Week out, and just as you want to go out and have a 30 or 40 point game, Bosco comes knocking and they're next on the list. So we've got our challenges cut out for us this week, no doubt. Phenomenal defense, coached really, really well by Coach King. Coach Negro does a phenomenal job. They have a great staff, great players at every position as well. So this is a great challenge for us. I'm really excited to see how well we play and this environment, playing at Trabuco is where our games are at right now, and we've got them on homecoming. So it should be an electric crowd. It should be a great environment, and I'm really excited to see how we come out and perform.
Coach, just looking at the results and what you did, to Mater Dei, and then the Mission Viejo game, is low scoring as well, and Gorman only, that's another low scoring game as well. Do you feel you have a D1 championship caliber defense? And if are you having these kinds of thoughts, maybe you and the coaching staff, like, man, if our offense just improves by even 7 points per game, we're scary?
Oh, we know well how good our defense is. Are we a championship team? We don't know. Nobody knows, and you got to go out and do it. At the end of the day, at this point in the season, nobody knows who's going to win. It's going to be extremely competitive. There's a lot of really good teams in the Southern section. So do I think we have the best defense? Yeah, I do. You know, from you know, them going out and proving it against, you know, all the teams that you mentioned, and the offense and great players that they've seen and faced, to what I see every day in practice, in meetings, and walkthroughs, and the preparation and the process that this group goes through. There's a lot of seniors over there. There's a lot of guys that have a lot to play for. There's a lot of guys that, you know, that whole group really loves to perform together. They love to work together, and they're coached well. They're coached hard. But you know, at this point, you know, none of us know who's going to win this whole thing. But we'll throw our hat in the ring, and you know, we've got our best football to play in front of us. I think we haven't gotten there yet. And that's exciting. You know, you want to be, you don't want to be playing your best football in August and September.
Right.
We've been playing good football and getting better, and you know, the games they remember are the games in October and November. So you know, those are the ones that are in front of us. You know, and you know, after Bosco, then we've got Olu, and then after Olu, Jay Sarah, and then, you know, hopefully you squeak in and you know, throw your hat in that ring and see, you know, see where you know, where all the chips fall at the end of the playoffs. But I like where we're at. You know, I think we're preparing the right way. Guys have had the right mindset. You know, and we're heading in the right direction as far as playing your best football. Once it starts getting cold and guys start thinking about wearing sleeves, that's when you want to be playing your best football, and that's what part of the season we're heading into.
Yeah, I got to ask you, defensive side of the ball. There's a guy, Tarek, you'll know this. His name comes up literally like every Friday night when we do our Friday night spaces after the game. Simote Katoanga.
Katoanga.
Yeah,
Simote
USC
Katoanga.
commit. People just they're blown away by this guy. Can you talk about him? I know you have a defense full of studs, so it's hard to single one out. But this guy's a special talent. I mean, if you listen to the spaces, people, you know, like I said, they think they're seeing the next coming here.
Yeah. You know, it's so tough to single anybody out on that defense and in that group. But Simote, for every single game, we get off the bus when we get back from the stadium. And as you mentioned earlier, Derek Fisher doing laundry and doing some of those things, and as we're unloading the bus, and water bottles and shoulder pads and, you know, the sideline setups and the headsets, Simote is helping until everything is cleared. He just gets done having, you know, 6 or 7 tackles, couple sacks, you know, absolutely dominating, you know, his side of the football. And then he's the first to jump in and help out and do what it takes to get the job done, whether it be, you know, cleaning the locker room and cleaning up after, you know, ourselves, unloading the buses. He's just an incredible human. He's our hardest worker on our team, and I feel confident saying that. And I don't think anybody on our team would feel any kind of way about that, because they see it. He's always doing extra, whether it be lifting weights, wind sprints, sled drills, bag drills. He's a really special young man. He's one of our captains, one of our leaders. He's not the rah, pump you up, hype speech before the game, but he gets you pumped up by the way he plays. He brings that energy to practice every single day. You know, he's truly very unique, and he's a very, very special young man.
Aram, if you want to ask one more, and then I'm gonna pepper Coach at the end, then we're gonna let him go.
Yeah. Okay. My last question, Coach. How long? I know you said you have sons of your own, you know, in the program now. But how long do you envision yourself doing this? You think you're going to be a long haul guy, a Bruce Rollinson type? You think you know this may be more than a decade or two? That you're liking it that much, or do you already kind of, you know, have a plan, you know, for how long this may last?
Yeah, I don't know how long did Bruce do it? How many years did Bruce do it?
Gosh, man, he started like I want to say early '80s. I want to say he went like almost 40 years.
Yeah, I'm giving an extreme example, but you
I got started too late. I don't have 40 years in me. But I don't know. You know, I've got a fifth grader in the other room that just started doing QB drills with me.
There we go.
He comes out to SM on on Thursdays at noon and Tuesdays at noon, and we do footwork and trash can drill. So and I'd love to coach him, but I don't know. I'm having a blast. Um, as long as you have good kids and good parents and great great help and staff, I think you can do anything as long as you want. And in that regard, we're very fortunate. We got great kids. We got a great locker room raised by great family members. And as we brushed on earlier, just the coaching staff we have and the guys we're surrounding these young men with is special. And I love that. But I don't know. I don't have a timeline. I don't have a horizon. I don't have a contract. I'm just doing this and loving it.
Coach, just to piggyback on that, I got two last questions before we let you go, and thank you again for joining, everybody. Thank you for watching. My high school football kind of related question, I think, is always kind of simple. You played at that highest level. How often do you have to remind your kids, because that's what they are, to have fun? And I know sometimes that gets thwarted through all the pressures and the big time Friday night lights, as bright as they may get. But do you often, because you've got so much perspective on it, do you often have to tell those guys to dial it back and try to have a little fun, though it may be hard for a 17-year-old?
No, I haven't said that. I haven't said that once. Winning is fun, and that feeling we had last Friday night at the Santa Ana Bowl is we paid our respects and watched their team do their team drill at the end. And then as we looked into our fan base and just you looked up in the stands and you saw the grandparents, the aunts and uncles, the moms and dads, the siblings, the neighbors. I don't mention, hey, let's have fun ever. Football is fun on Friday nights. Practice is hard. Lifting weights is hard. Conditioning's hard. Meetings, we spice up a little bit, but there's too much to cover. There's too many things to go over, in those meetings. Now, there's times where you do fun things, whether it, be a team event, whether it's going to the beach or going bowling. There's some opportunities where you have for fellowship and brotherhood and those opportunities to grow as a team and get to know your teammates. But when it comes down to it, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a coach. I'm a player. So maybe I do need to be bringing up the fun part or using that three-letter word.
It's refreshing that you're honest about it. Keep going.
No, I mean, I guess that's all I got. I guess I hadn't thought about that word until you brought it up, and hadn't realized that I haven't reminded anybody to have fun. And part of that too is our guys. I mean, our guys like to practice. Our guys like to compete. They have fun when they're competing, and they understand the process and respect the process that they understand. You got to lift and condition, and do 9-on-7, and do tackling circuit, and and all the things you have to do to be able to beat good football teams. And so fun's on Fridays. The work week is the work week. We take it one day at a time, one play at a time, one meeting at a time, one practice at a time, one lift at a time, one sprint. And so that's a big thing we talk about. But I haven't used that three-letter word yet. Maybe I need to throw that in there. And you learn something new every day. And maybe I do need to implement more of that. But right now, when we're winning's fun on Fridays.
No, I appreciate it, Coach. Most of the time, I appreciate the honesty, and it's clear that your team is. I wouldn't change a thing. You just beat Mater Dei. We'll see how Bosco goes on Friday. And really, my last question for you is: you're on the channel. I have to ask you. USC football, nice big win, Big Ten win at home against Michigan. They're on the road at Notre Dame in South Bend, a game you've played in. Just kind of talk about the heartbeat of the Trojans right now, how good you might be feeling, or are you a lot of Trojan fans like nervous that they might go to play Notre Dame and lay an egg with all this positive momentum moving forward?
No, I'm not nervous about that. You have those hiccups. I think they had a hiccup in Illinois. Whatever it may be, you just, as especially when you go on the road and you go from West to East Coast, and then I'm not making an excuse. And I know there's a million excuses made, and There are no excuses. When you got to play, you got to play. But you have these hiccups, and that's what's beautiful about a football team is you learn from those and you roll, and you find out why you lost. You find out what you did wrong. You find out how to improve, and you get better. And so, at the end of the day, they're a one-loss team.
Yes.
They're going into a rivalry game. It's not super hard to play at Notre Dame. It's not a wild atmosphere that young guys lose their minds in. It's a great place to go and get a good win against a really quality opponent. I look at that game as an opportunity, maybe to kind of shut all these people up that are doubting you, and then maybe they realize that this is just a hiccup. That game against Illinois was just a hiccup. But if you beat Michigan at home and then you go on the road and beat Notre Dame on the road, you're legit. You're legit, and that game is looked at as just a hiccup and a part of the process and a part of learning, and then you get better from there. But you watch that team play on Saturday, and you see the first back go down, and the second back go
Yeah.
down, and then the third guy comes in and just goes bananas. You see the defense play just tough and physical, unlike they had a couple weeks before in Illinois. So. No, they've got the right recipe. They've got that next man up mindset, which is big, especially as you get into league play and they're getting into the teeth of their league play here, because they're going to lose other guys. Everybody's losing guys, and when you see the guy that was third come in and go off like that, that gives energy and confidence to other guys that are the second or third guys. So, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And then when that guy's opportunity comes, boom, he go. And so, I like where they're at. Obviously they're well coached. They've got a great young quarterback. They've got a really good defensive line that when they're on, they're on. Um, you know, I like their chances. I like the future and like where the program's headed.
Aram, a last comment?
Yeah.
Aaron, I lost you, man. I'm not
Yeah.
hearing you.
Hold on. Aram, we lost you. Maybe did the AirPods run out of battery? Okay. Coach, I'll let you go. Really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Seriously, we really appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy and you got a big task ahead of you. Number one in the land, and I'm not talking about the Southland. That's the number one team in the country right now in St. John Bosco. So good luck to you. We'll all be watching. Congrats on the win against Mater Dei. Good luck the rest of the way. And again, thanks for joining the show.
Tarek, Aaron, thanks for having me on, and appreciate what you guys do and the light you shed on this great game of youth and high school football, and just thanks for having me on, guys. Have a great week.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Coach. So there he goes. Carson Palmer. Man, what a great guest that was. That was fun. Obviously, great player in his own right. And man, maybe not enough credit for himself, Aram. I'm saying that he's just a player, clearly teaching and coaching this team the right way. It is not easy. There's almost a lore that you have to defeat, other than the scoreboard, right? Taking on Mater Dei, there's a lore to it that you have to beat as well, and they were able to do that on Friday. So, man, what a daunting task it was, but they accomplished it, and then they got St. John Bosco on Friday. It doesn't get any easier. Aram, you there? Yeah, no. Okay, hold on. Let's get you back here, brother. I think you might. Yeah, we're not hearing you, and I know we just heard Coach on the way out, so I think we should be good. Let's see if we can get you back. Let me go solo here. Let me talk to chat a little bit before we get Coach. Yeah, hey, there was a lot going on tonight. I appreciate those tuning in. We got Dallas in the chat. Thank you, Coach Kendrick, clearly on the couch maybe as well. Thank you for watching. Daniel Thompson, Rory, Paul Shepper, Coach Merchant. Thanks for tuning in. I saw Steve Ramirez, Chris Four, Chris Ricks. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. Phil Wilson trying to give me my props. I did say that Santa Margarita was going to beat Mater Dei on Friday, and it happened. So makes me look like I know what I'm talking about. We'll wait for Aram to get back on. I think another reason, and that some people are alluding to it, maybe the chat maybe isn't as popping as it usually is on a Monday night. Man, there was a lot going on. 2 Monday Night Football games. The Dodgers, holy cow, man, almost blew that thing. But they get away with the win, which is huge, which is absolutely huge. That game 1 win on the road in Milwaukee. Hold on, Aaron. Let me see if I can try and get you back here. Give me a little quick mic check.
What's up, bro?
Oh yeah, you're back. Okay, here we go. Bang. Okay, go ahead, Aram. Your reaction just having Coach Palmer on. Hey, that's a nice get for the channel once again. FATTAL Factor continuing to deliver, too, within proximity of stories and programs, doing cool things. We get good guests on. Go ahead, Aram.
Yeah, my lousy Amazon loud mic.
Oh, that's right. The earbuds is the sound. Got it.
Yeah. So I tried, everybody. Maybe the echo's back. I don't know. Anyways, all I was going to say was I was at Carson Palmer's game against Notre Dame. In 2002, which a lot of people would say that won him the Heisman, like, put him over the top as the guy. And yeah, that was their last game before he actually won the Heisman, and they beat Iowa in the Orange Bowl. But yeah, it was a great memory. They kicked Notre Dame's ass from like the second quarter or second half on.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I was, he played. I think he got drafted number 1 in 2003. So
yeah, it would be 03.
Yeah, so I mean, I was born in '89, man. So he was man. When I was following USC football as a youngster, like he was the guy, man. He is the guy. So that was cool to have him on. Just a little junior high Tarek was pretty geeked about that. But it was awesome to have him on. He spent a lot of time with us and shared a lot of things. Loved your questions, Aram, for him. I think what he did on Friday was pretty impressive. I mean, we'd have to look. I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but can we remember I mean, look, there's been times Mater Dei has lost games, but to only score 6 points, I wonder if that's an all-time, I wonder if that might be an all-time low of some sort to do that.
Yeah, really. I mean, when's the last time that happened? That's actually interesting, Tarek. I was maybe I'm crazy, but like I was trying to figure out like when was the last time Mater Dei lost in league to somebody not named Bosco.
So 2013, they actually lost to I think it was I want to say they lost to like J. Sarah and Orange Lutheran, or it might have been Santa Margarita and Orange Lutheran, or it was a combination of teams. But that's the last time. The last time they lost. Oh, you know what? That might have just been the last time. No, I'm all over the place. I think 2013 was the last time they lost at least 2 Trinity League games. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, yeah, I know he kind of downplayed my question about actually doing it now. Do the kid? He's saying the kids always believed, and I believe that's true to a certain point, but you can't tell me that when it goes from we can beat a Mater Dei, we can beat a Bosco, to actually finally doing it, that doesn't just trigger something in these kids' minds throughout the program, man. They're going to be full of confidence, going into this Bosco game, and now that they've seen they can win this type of game.
Oh yeah.
Look out D1 playoffs, because like I said, that offense, Tarek, if it just gets a little better, Trent Mosley back now. If it just gets a little better, like I said, 7 points per game even, they're championship level. And I didn't see that coming. I remember you and me having the talk when I was driving back from Del Mar a week before the season started. And we were talking about Santa Margarita.
Wasn't a believer.
No, I wasn't. I thought you convinced me. Because we were talking about who do you think will finish third and this and that. I thought you sort of convinced me, bro.
Oh, okay. I think I might have been a little higher on Orange Lutheran, or to be honest with you. Which that game, by the way, Luke could absolutely, puncher's chance against Santa Margarita. That game's in a couple weeks. But yeah, I just knew that they were talented. And everyone was talking about this buzz. For some reason, I just couldn't get over the hump on them. But when I saw how good the defense was, that's when I started to believe that they could make some noise. And if I'm being honest with you, this game was the perfect storm and why I was so confident in calling that Mater Dei was going to lose. Because Mater Dei themselves can't score like they used to, Aram. So then you bring in this juggernaut defense, and I just felt like, it was bound to happen.
That's funny. Mater Dei can't score like they used to.
They can't. I always bring up that Kahuku score, man. That just told me everything I need to know. And so there's something going on over there. But Santa Margarita gets the win. Big game against St. John Bosco. Now, this is where I don't think they're going to surprise anyone, man. I think St. John Bosco's going to get them pretty good. By pretty good, I mean by maybe like a couple touchdowns.
It's hard, man, to go back-to-back weeks,
No
Mater
question.
Dei and Bosco. You got to have some serious gas in the tank to do that, bro. That's. I would have liked to have seen this game like Santa Margarita coming off of a game against Jay Serra, going into Bosco
Sure.
To get a better idea. But man, I just this D1 is just getting it's going to be phenomenal, man. I mean, how would you like to see Sierra Canyon line up against Santa Margarita?
Oh,
that would be fun.
I'd give the slight edge to Sierra Canyon because they can score. What are you laughing
Yeah, your boy
at?
Dallas.
Oh no, Dallas is, dude. That guy's a riot, man. That's my guy. I mean, all these guys are my guys, but Dallas he's got a special sense of humor, man.
That was
That
really
guy knows
funny.
how to. Man, I can't tell you that guy. I mean, he can still do it from time to time, but dude, when we were growing up, that guy knew how to get under my skin like nobody's business, man. I mean, and I just knew. And see, like we would do stuff amongst our friends or out like in the world or whatever, and he would do stuff to rile me up, and I just knew he'd be like looking over his shoulder and winking at other. I mean, I just knew he was, and I still couldn't. I still couldn't get past it. I'm a lot better now. But man, that's my guy. We battle on the golf course. He just had shout out to Clyde. Dallas's brand new baby boy who, okay, Dallas is gonna love this. Aram, okay, this dude Dallas is gonna love this. So Clyde, I want to say, so he was born, I think August 9th, 8th or 9th, only a couple days before Isla's birthday or a day before Isla's birthday. And then, so here we are, October. So he's about 2 months old, right? And so today he had a doctor's appointment, and Dallas is texting me that Clyde's measuring in like the 94th and 91 percentile for height and weight for his age, male 2-month-old babies. And dude, I just knew the guy was just beaming with pride in that doctor's office, man. So, anyway.
He already has a Colorado offer too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime's already after Clyde. So yeah, man, that's my guy, man, and he's a brand new dad, so he's in the thick of it right now, not getting a whole lot of sleep. But it is fun that he's in the chat and
bro. Speaking of baby updates,
yeah, no text. That's funny. Dallas himself like, dude, when's this baby coming, man? I'm like, I don't know, man. We're just waiting around. It'll come whenever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Tarek and Bree are still in a holding pattern, everyone. We thought last week's show may go by the wayside if Bree went into labor because she was projected to go into it last Monday, actually.
Correct.
And here we are a Monday later, and we're still waiting.
Yeah, I think we're 41 weeks now. So anyway. Well, we'll wait and see this week, hopefully. And then she's got an appointment on Wednesday. They'll do some natural things to help induce or get things going. And I have a feeling the baby's gonna come sometime, later this week. And if it'll eventually, my son's name's gonna be Alden. And so eventually Alden will be here. And
breaking news.
He'll make his debut. I'll hold him right here. We'll make his debut on FATTAL Factor. And we'll be on. Maybe I bring on my midwife for an interview, man. Our midwife. Like, okay, what was the delivery like? What was the strategy going in? No, I'm kidding.
I got questions.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, man, no, I appreciate you guys all coming in. That was a fun interview. I'm trying to think, Aram, do we want to just take a look at some games coming up? Maybe look at high school ratings, see what I was gonna go on here and look what the projections were for the games on Friday. Projections and results.
Sure thing, buddy.
If you're not fired up about it, it's cool, dude.
No, I am. I'm just,
whatever, dude.
man, that Dodger win.
Oh man.
Dude, I'm thinking like, hey man, this is gonna break perfect. Like we're gonna go on, they're gonna get these 3 outs. Of course, that's not gonna happen very easily. They're gonna get these 3 outs in the 9th because Brokey's the next K-Rod. And we're gonna go on and it's gonna be smooth. But then, we're sitting there and we're sweating it. And and then off air, Carson asked me, Aram, what's the score? And I'm like, he's like, what's the situation? You watching the game? And I'm like, yeah, it's like, bases loaded or whatever, He's like, no, I'm talking about the football game.
Yeah. Like
the Bears and the Redskins, or excuse
actually,
me, the Commanders. Keep saying Redskins.
Before the show, I'm like, everything's muted, so I can't hear you, can't hear me, but I think you can still see me in the cam. Was there any, did you see me kind of watching and reacting to the game a little bit before we went on, or no?
I didn't see you. I saw you right after they got the 3rd out.
Okay. Well, that was on air.
Yeah, that was on air.
Okay, got it.
And I kind of did a little fist pump off air. I did not realize that the Bears came back and beat the Commanders 25-24 after being down 24-16. So what a fun finish that was.
Okay, so the projections, they got Bosco beating Santa Margarita 28-7. I'm not mad at that projection. Maybe 21-10 or something.
The computer doesn't like Margarita's offense, bro.
Yeah,
that's all that is.
I would be, look, shout out to Coach Palmer, but I don't think he likes his offense either. Let's just call it what it is. They're
not yet.
The guy's a quarterback. I don't know. I'm gonna look up how many yards Carson Palmer's thrown for in his NFL career. Carson Palmer. It's like career. I'm gonna say it's either 30 or 40,000 he's eclipsed. It's one of those numbers. Am I wrong on that?
Dallas is cracking me up, dude. He said he's glad Tarek's baby didn't come tonight. We would have had to do lip reading the whole time with Aram. The whole show. Yeah, I'd have never known, Dallas. I'd have never known. Well, I guess you guys in the chat would have said you couldn't hear anything. All right, bro, I'm sorry. What was the pregunta again?
Yeah, so I was actually off, but like the other way. Carson threw for 46,000 yards in his NFL career.
Yeah, he was awesome, man.
Golly.
Yep.
My point is that guy, you're telling me that guy's not frustrated his team's not scoring more points?
Sure.
Please.
And we all thought, Tarek, like with Carson Palmer becoming the head coach there, man, Santa Margarita is going to have a hell of an offense. This is going to be scary. No one kind of saw this level of defense coming. No. And I still think it's in them. Like he said, you don't want to be peaking in September or October even. You want to be peaking in November. That offense still has upside. They get it figured out. It's pretty scary. I say the same thing about Texas and Arch Manning. Do with that what you may. That offense catches up to the defense, and you got a scary, all-around football team.
Yeah. See, they have Orange Lutheran beating Jay Sarah. Jay Sarah's bad, man. Jay Sarah's bad. Yeah, Coach. Hey, James Brock's in here. Okay, Dallas and Rory and all the people in the chat that don't know. God, how can I? Let me see if I can pull something up here. Bear with me. This will be worth it. This will be worth it. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
I can only imagine.
Oh, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna try and. I promise those that are still on stream, hang out. I'm gonna try and. Okay, I think this might be it. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stand by. Stand by. Hold on. I promise this will be good. I don't know what this video is going to be, but I have a feeling it'll be. All right, we'll go with this. All right, stand by. Hold on. I want to make sure you can see it. Because there is a reason. There is a reason that we need to do this. And Aram knows, or he already knows what's kind of coming. He knows what's coming, but he doesn't know what's coming. Here we go.
This is going to be...
Stand by. I just got to get the chat down.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay.
It looks like the strip club.
It's bottle service. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in the chat, it's Aram's birthday today. So I just wanted to show a little like bottle service. Let's see what the music's like. I'm scared now. Yeah, see, all it is bottle service footage from a Miami nightclub. I wanted to try and keep it somewhat PG, dude. I don't know what's going. I don't know what was gonna pop up, but happy birthday to Aram Tolegian. If we can get a HBD or a happy birthday in the chat for Aram, that'd be huge. Aram, anything you'd like to say, man? I mean, and if you want to even divulge your age, that's up to you.
Yeah, today I'm 50, everybody.
Oh my gosh, it's your 50, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. I should have came up with
crazy, huh?
Wow.
And this is how I spent my 50th birthday.
Oh, dude, now I feel bad. Well, at least we got Carson Palmer. That's kind of cool.
This is how I spent my 50th birthday, bro. I did the Monday morning sickness spaces with Freddie at 8:30. I worked 10 to 6 at Fox. And then I went to Cava and got dinner and, was back here ready to, hang out and do this show, do FATTAL Factor. Now, what happens tomorrow and, the day after, that we won't discuss.
Are you going to Vegas this week? I know you're a Vegas guy. You going to Vegas this week? Okay.
No, not going to Vegas.
Next Vegas trip? Because I know you do you do go. You're in Vegas at least once a month. Is that a fair number?
Yeah, during football season, once or twice or 3 times a month, depending on, what's good. But I'll be there at the end of this month. I don't think I'll go before then, unless there's something that just jumps off the page in the next 2 weeks. But yeah, birthday stuff will be tomorrow and the day after.
Dallas is asking you about Angel Reese cereal.
Yeah, that's what's behind me up there on the stand. That's my box of Reese's Puffs with Angel Reese on the cover. Okay. That's my lady, so nobody say anything bad about her.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Love Angel Reese.
Oh, man, dude, you are too good. Okay, Aram, real quick, and we'll start to wrap things up, man. That was a good show. We had a good interview. Dallas is sending XOXO in the chat. Okay, now this is getting... I don't know, man. This is getting a little like the bromance is on. What are some of the big...
I think he's XOing Angel Reese, bro.
I think he's XOXOing you, brother.
Oh, really, Dallas?
Yeah. Let me go to football here. Scores. Let me just look at the big matchups this week, and then let's take a look at what we like, who we don't like. Because listen, man, we're getting into week 8 now, Aram. 8, 9, boom, 10. Halloween night is St. John Bosco Mater Dei. That's the last week of the football season. I'm just saying, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here, brother. And Coach Palmer, alluded to it. Like, guys go down, even at the USC level. Like, the next man up, he performs. Now everyone else is jazzed. Everyone's a little banged up. These are big time games. These last 3 weeks of the season. So I think these games are gonna matter, man. We got Mater Dei. Okay, Centennial's playing Marietta Valley. Do we think Marietta Valley has any chance of beating Centennial?
Offensively, you would think that game would be your usual kind of IE shootout. I don't think like our boy EPJ was giving off the vibes that was, ultimately going to be competitive in the end on the scoreboard. But I don't quote me on that because I don't want to, misquote what EPJ's thoughts were on that game. But no, I don't think so.
I agree with you. Here's an interesting. Okay, well, I got one to finish out with. What about like a Chaminade versus Sarah Gardena?
Boy, Sarah Gardena better win, Tarek. Or it's pretty much season over. They're 0-2 in league. No bueno.
And remember, Chaminade played Sierra Canyon last week and lost 45-14, but at least they were able to move the ball and score. Remember, Sarah, we're talking like 20 all time, 20 yards in the whole game, 21, 24 yards, something like that, and a few cramps. By the way, I did find out from a source that's very credible in regard to Loyola athletics. I asked, Santa Gardena played Thursday night. For those that were in the last week, Santa Gardena from the Cramp game against Sierra Canyon played at SoFi Stadium against Loyola on Thursday night. And I asked, did any Sarah players cramp in the Thursday game at SoFi? And I was told yes. And there was 3 cramps. So just a little FYI, take it for what it's worth, whatever. I don't know if, they're trying to keep it, keep the main thing, but yeah, there were some cramps. I'll give you another interesting game here, and I'm just thinking, I'm only bringing it up because is there an element of reeling? Is there an element of downward spiral? Servite plays Mater Dei on Saturday, and Servite ain't no slouch. What do you think?
Margarita beat them 17-7. So comparative scoring wise,
could be a game.
I guess then again, Mater Dei off a loss and readjusted mentally.
Yeah.
Remember what Steve Fryer said in Spaces, man. He's concerned about what's between the ears with the Mater Dei guys. Now, you thought that would have gotten corrected after the Centennial loss. Maybe it did temporarily, but I don't know, man. Better question, Tarek. Are they scoring 21 on Servite, Mater Dei?
Are they scoring 21 on Servite? Something about that game makes me feel like it'll still be... Look, man, if Orange Lutheran can play... Remember, that game was 25-10. And I think it was only 10-7 or like 7-3 at halftime. So I think Servite can stay with them, man. And I feel, don't you feel this? Don't you get this feeling that Mater Dei's like fragile right now?
Yeah, this is,
like if
the first
Servite
loss to Centennial is like the bounce back window.
First, there could be a little bit of implosion there, maybe.
Dude, it just doesn't make sense to me, man, because how you have Bowman, the 2 stud receivers.
They're loaded.
I mean, just on that alone, you should have an offense set up around that, but like, I don't know if it was you that said this in Spaces. They just seem to play kind of street ball offensively, like it's like throw it up ball.
Yeah, Mike,
that's not going to work.
Mike Victor's been saying that little bit of like bailout ball, where it's like, okay, I'm just going to hope my athlete gets it. And there's been a few plays like that, definitely in that Bishop Gorman game to Chris Henry Jr. I mean, a ton of balls like that. And you look, man, I hate to like point out a kid, but Ryan Hopkins, the quarterback at Mater Dei, clearly isn't playing to his best abilities. Had a heck of a year at J. Sarah, but it was a 1-year blip per se. So then he comes to Mater Dei, and it's obvious that the offense isn't clicking like it's supposed to. And I actually think it's less about Hopkins and more about their running game. Because remember, and Mike Victor brings it up every week, they had Jordan Davison, who's at Oregon now, running that ball last year, and that guy was like player of the year type caliber offensive player. So they had this foundational physical running game that allowed for Dash Byerly, right, to like jazz it up through the air. And they were, obviously, they won the national championship. So just the running game to me isn't as potent. And so that maybe they rely on their passing game a little too much. I don't know, but there's something about it that isn't as polished, and it leaves for cracks in the armor, and we see what happens. So yeah, Servite Mater Dei is a lot more interesting now, isn't it? After a Mater Dei loss. So we'll see how they respond. Obviously, first year they lost to Centennial a few weeks back, and then they bounced back and beat Gorman by 3 points. So it was close.
And that's a Saturday game, bro, and I know you love those. So I'll expect to see you there and not home watching Notre Dame USC.
No, I will. I'm bummed. I've already told you. My buddies are gonna be in South Bend for that game. That's our our kind of boys sports trip of the year, and obviously I can't go because I got the newborn. I will not. I won't even be anywhere on Friday, man. And when this baby comes, I don't anticipate being anywhere for a Friday night game until Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to that Mater Dei Bosco game. At least I'm going to try. I don't know. I might not be able to do that either, but that's the goal.
Are we taking Isla out for trick or treating on Halloween, or she's not there
She's
yet?
still just a
age?
little too young, I think.
Okay.
Just a little.
When that happens, I'm part of that, dude. I am going
Okay.
for that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I think two, just like doable, but still really young. Next year, 3 years old, 100%. We're in trick or treat territory. There's no question.
For the next 7 years, bro.
Yeah. Well, of course. I'm just saying.
Or maybe even like more like the next 10 years or whatever.
That'll be the first go at it. But Aram, I'm trying to, maybe some closing thoughts, man. I think, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. Good show tonight, man.
My closing thoughts, Tarek, are actually, it was a good show. Just, how far this show has come in a short amount of time. And thank you to everybody in the chat. A lot of regular guys that are here, every week watching it. Once again, great guest, timely topic. This is the premier place, man, for high school football coverage now in SoCal. And, great job by you getting Carson Palmer on. I think, Carson Palmer, he didn't quite say this, but, you do things at a certain point in your life for the enjoyment and the experience of it. And that's like a great thing, like a Chris Ricks at Bishop Amat, now coaching back at Bishop Amat. Pick any guys, pick people that are doing things out of pleasure and experience and not necessarily a money motive. And then we could kind of say the same thing about this show. I mean, yeah, of course we want to get sponsored and have huge viewership and someday make a bunch of money. But bro, this is about, the friendship, the camaraderie for me, hanging, doing something with you who I have, a ton of respect for and just blown away by you talent-wise. And to be able to be on here doing this with you and be part of, the high school football season on some level in SoCal, that's what it's all about. So I hope, people are getting that, that's coming across in the show and stuff that we're putting on for everyone. So, yeah. Other thing I would just say, making a complete 180 is the college football season just continues to blow my mind, man. Every week.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's mind-blowing, dude, is what it is. Indiana, Oregon result, the Penn State collapse, even though that cost me a lot of money in futures. Just the things that go on a weekly basis now in college football. It's just been incredible, and it's just going to keep getting better and better as the season plays out.
No, it is the college football. I tell you what. Okay, so first of all, I want to address your kind words. Thank you, Aram. You've been a great professional friend to me, and like a real friend. Like professionally, kind of started off, and we do things professionally, but more so than ever, we've become really, really good friends, man. And this is exactly what this is. This is something that is fun, and we enjoy it. If something greater comes from it, that's the whipped cream on top. That's not, guys, we're spending our Monday nights here for a couple hours. So are the viewers, so are those in the chat. So we very much appreciate it, because we're really not doing it without you guys. So that's where fan appreciation per se. Fan sounds really dramatic. You guys aren't fans, but viewers, engagers per se. So really, really appreciate that. But yeah, man, no, it's a fun ride. And in only 10 episodes, the channel has reached 1,000 subscribers. We've had the Money Man on. We broke arguably the biggest high school sports story in the past decade, maybe outside of the Mater Dei hazing scandal, which is a total different tone of story. But that Money Man story, brother, that's up there, man. And we did that on this channel. Then we had Ellinghaus and Altenberg on after Crampgate. And then, we got Carson Palmer on. That's pretty cool. The guy played a few Pro Bowls, and won the Heisman Trophy. So that's a feather in our cap, man. That's not just me. That's you too, man. So that's my comment on that. In regard to the college football scene, let's call it what it is, man. I know it's a cliche word in sports, but there's parity. In the NFL, there's parity. The Packers looked all world, 2-0 start. The Chargers were 3-0. The Rams, I think, were 3-0, if I'm not mistaken. Now everyone looks mediocre.
Injuries, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's kind of the awesomeness of it.
Yeah.
You know, did the Bills end up losing tonight?
Yes, they got
There you
worked.
go, the Bills, like, oh, they're going to
They
win.
were 4-1, yeah.
Come over, you know, the Falcons are a ho-hum team. They put out a couple nice plays together. Drake London, Moore Park High School, shout out. You know, puts a game together, they win. So that's the NFL level. And then the college level, I mean, come on. Just like you said, some of these top dogs are going down and no one look at UCLA. Not only is the result making it fun, but there's great storylines that are accompanying. Come on, how cool is the Jerry Neuheisel story for UCLA? You know, Deshaun Foster gets let go, Tim Skipper comes in. Oh my word! I mean, even James Franklin getting $49 million or whatever it is to get the hell out. You know, that's a storyline that's been interesting. So Trent Dilfer got fired.
Yeah, I had to do that at Fox, yeah.
Big names all over the place. There's already coaching rumors. I mean, we've already got an NFL coach that got fired.
Yeah, so, I had to do that as well today.
You know, there's got to be more to that story. We don't have to get into the weeds. Obviously,
there is. He blamed Cam Ward, like, publicly. So you do that, and
I did not see that.
Yeah, that's that. What's that?
After he got fired, or like in their
no. He was critical of Cam Ward before that. So I think I think.
So you think he might have been coaching Cam Ward like against his will, like the franchise picked him and like made him coach him up, kind of thing?
No, I think he kind of put blame on their offensive struggles on Cam Ward, and that didn't sit well. I'm pulling it up right now.
Just fine. I mean, I guess not sitting well and all that, but golly, 6 games with a rookie quarterback. It's like, what do you think? It's going to be roses? I mean, I don't know. That seems like a short leash to me. There's got to be more to it.
Yeah. So in the New York Post, there was a story. You know, Titans coach Brian Callahan calls out Cam Ward with hot seat burning. So. I just think, that's the face of the franchise now, Cam Ward, and that's who they're riding with. Maybe management just felt that, he said publicly, Cam's got to play better football as well. We all got to get better. Cam's a part of that too. We got to coach better, so on. Maybe they don't want him discouraging their young QB like that or something. I don't know, or
that's
whatever.
More to it, but anyway, yeah. To your point, we're seeing a lot and then of course there's parity at the high school level, man. And so it seems to be St. John Bosco's year, but they don't seem like St. John Bosco doesn't seem like a juggernaut. They just seem like the best football team. So so like, for example, like I could see Sierra Canyon giving St. John Bosco a great game and maybe beating them, right? It's like in years past where we've just seen this Mater Dei and it's like, no one's got a chance. This is stupid. It's not like that. Even with St. John Bosco, doesn't mean St. John Bosco won't run the table and be a national champion. They very well could be. They've done it before, but something about this year makes me feel like the gap isn't as large. And so that is fun.
Bro, do you think you'll be at the D1 championship game?
Oh yeah. Do
you think it'll be a Friday?
It generally is a Friday.
Okay.
They usually.
I may have to ask for work off, and we can go hang out for that.
Yeah, it generally is a Friday game, and then they put that.
Do they play that at neutral site, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they've announced where it's gonna be. They'll jump it around. It's been at the Coliseum before. It's been at. They've done it at Veterans. Like they've done different venues.
Okay.
They've done it at.
That could be the social event of the year.
And then I know they usually do D1 on Friday and D2 on Saturday, because I remember last year I went down all the way to Murrieta Valley to watch Newbury Park win that D2 final, and that was a Saturday night. So,
right.
Yeah.
one more thing I wanted to say on that, bro. When I first got into this business, and this is like early 2000s, there were older guys covering games for us at the paper, stringers, and I would say to myself, that guy's just bored or he's trying to get away from his wife, that type of stuff. And that's why he's doing this. We're giving him the 6th best game of the week in the Pasadena area.
Yeah, okay.
But what I've kind of realized now is they were doing it, obviously not for the money. They were doing it to stay a part of something.
Yeah.
And I think now that I'm the old man, here I am 50, I feel like, like for me personally, like that's what I'm doing, just to be a part of something, just to be a part of the season or the scene in some small way. Like that's become me now. And, you see this with people either at their church or a lodge or, some sort of club that they join, like the quarterbacks clubs around, SoCal, the various ones, the National Football Foundation and Hall of Fame, those types of things. Guys do this. They join these things to stay a part of something that they enjoy, like football or whatever it may be for you. And I didn't consciously do that, but I'm starting to realize that shit, man, like that's me now. Yeah, anyways.
No, I love that, man. Hey, you know what that's called right there, brother? Yep, someone just said it. This Cuervo said a reflection, but that is perspective, man. That is perspective. So at 50,
yeah,
you are a wise man. Well, dude, congratulations on 50. Happy birthday. Thanks all those that are watching. La Mirada Blog TV. Good take, Aram. Homage. Wow. That is... Okay, man. All right, turning the corner. All right. Okay, maybe turning from foe to friend. All right, we like that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comment. All right, let's see a little more of that energy. Please. But yeah, thank you all those. Steve Ramirez says another school can pay James Franklin, for say $4 million, and Penn State owes Franklin $4 million a year. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Carl Clark's asking me about the open division. I'm assuming you mean Division 1, which is basically something we already talked about. I don't know if you're talking about like the city open division, but Carl, let me know what you mean.
I think he means open division, like he's kind of thinking like D1 is the open division.
Yeah. But I don't know. Jonathan Santiago says W stream. Really appreciate it, guys. Aram, I think I'll bump you out, man, and then we'll call it a night, and then hopefully I'll have a son here by next Monday.
Yeah, man. Fingers crossed.
We'll see. Anyway, we want the. I think. I tell you what, man. USC goes on the road and wins that game.
They're a playoff team if they do.
They are in the mix because. Well, okay. Now, sorry. Now, let's say they go beat Notre Dame, which is very possible. That's not even like being like an overzealous fan. That's like they can go beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame's not that good. So they go beat Notre Dame. Then they've got these next three opponents, and I'm going off the top of my head, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know if it's in this order. I think they play Nebraska. Oh, yeah, no. I think they play Northwestern, Nebraska, and Iowa. Or no, maybe it's Nebraska, Iowa, Northwestern. And those are all games they should win, correct?
No. I mean...
Nebraska's solid.
At Nebraska, I would imagine is going to be around a pick'em game point spread wise.
Okay. Then
they have Northwestern at home after that. Remember, Northwestern gave Penn State a better game than Oregon did. And then Iowa at the Coliseum, I'd say SC is going to be, around 7-10 in that game. Then at Oregon. My point is, if they can beat Notre Dame, go on their bye week, come back, beat Nebraska, and even if they lose to Oregon but win the rest, 2-loss USC is getting in.
Totally agree. I'm not even
3-loss even might, depending on who the third loss is and if the win's Oregon.
3 loss, I think they would need some help If that make like there'd be.
It's gonna be a lot of 3-loss teams, dude.
Okay. Well then that's the help I'm talking about. They would have to be in.
Get ready for that, man.
They'd have to be in some deep company, and I think they can afford. Afford's not the right word. I think I said from the very beginning of the year they're gonna go 9-3. I thought they were gonna. I actually chalked up Michigan as a loss. I thought they were gonna lose to Michigan, Notre Dame, and Oregon. Those are the 3 losses. So they've lost to Illinois. They beat Michigan. Boom. So that's a wash. I think they can beat Notre Dame. I would say if they beat Notre Dame, they get one more loss the rest of the year. Who it is, I don't know. But yeah, you're right, man. I think they're in if they're a 2-loss team.
Yes, I do too.
Okay.
But prediction though for late November, early December, you're going to see absolute madness with the playoffs and who gets in and the selection and who's posturing or lobbying and stuff like that. You're going to see madness, man, because these SEC teams, as it plays out, are going to take turns on each other because that conference is just insanely loaded top to bottom. Big Ten, I don't quite feel the same about top to bottom. So you're going to have some SEC teams that are going to say, hey, us at 9-3, Nebraska at 11-1, if Nebraska's 11-1, there's no comparison. There's no way you can put Nebraska in and not, a 9-3 Georgia or a 9-3 Alabama or a 9-3 LSU. It's going to be crazy, bro. And I'm just letting everybody know, be ready for that. You're going to get in your feelings, not just you, Tarek, but everyone out there. It's going to be nuts.
Now, I think, the truth of the matter is that I think USC the USC is undoubtedly, I think we can agree on this as a last ad. They are undoubtedly in control of their own destiny, man. They're playing good ball. They can win the games that are ahead of them. Even at Oregon, which seems a little more mortal. Something about going to Notre Dame, I'm not as on edge as them going and playing in Eugene.
Well, yeah, all right.
Oregon scares me more. I'm just being, I don't know why. They just do. Eugene.
What I'm going to do when we get off here is I'm going to actually watch SC's the highlights from the Michigan game, and I'm going to try and see as much of this third string running back that everyone said was pretty decent.
King Miller, Calabasas High School, covered him.
Okay, I'm going to have to watch that because if he's legit, if he's good, if he can hold it down with the first 2 guys out, with the RBs 1 and 2 out, then I give them a hell of a shot. But if not, even though Notre Dame lost its starting center today, they announced he's out for the year with a knee injury, which is a big blow. I would favor Notre Dame still in that spot. Okay. So we'll see.
Yeah, King Miller, he's like, physical and fast, man. He really is quite a specimen.
Line. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying he was like making guys miss and running through people for extra yards. I mean, the guy was doing everything.
Okay, I got to see that. That line, by the way, jumped from 7.5 Notre Dame 7.5 to 10 today. I think mostly on the running back.
The last I saw was 8.5. Wow.
Yeah, jumped to 10.
So they're jumping all over the running
the Irish
situation. Okay, Aram. Truly final thoughts, and then I'm gonna bump your intro. We'll bump what would be your outro now.
Bro, I just laid my heart out there, man. How could I have any final thoughts? Just again, thank you everyone for joining, and Tarek, thanks for hosting, and I will see everybody, or I will hear everybody on Friday.
Aram, we'll catch you in Spaces on Friday, and if not, I could miss Spaces Friday if I'm having a baby, but plan on me being there. If not, we'll see you on Monday. We'll talk over the weekend. Fight on.
All right, bro. We've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
All right, ladies and gents. Cue the music. Bump it a little bit louder. Another good show. Thank you to Carson Palmer for coming on. Man, I need a haircut. I need to shave. I need to take a hot shower. We're on baby watch over here at the FATTAL residence. this show's way too late to have my little 2-year-old daughter make an appearance, but maybe there's some night where she doesn't, I don't know, it's a late night and she's not in bed and she can make an appearance. I guarantee you guys will love her. Hey, be blessed, be safe out there. Another great show. Thank you for watching. There's more subscriptions. We're up to 1,048 subs. We reached 1,000 last week. So really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to think of what else I can say. Thank you to all those that joined. That's it. Another show in the books. Remember to take the job seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. Have a